We're back here in the final, no, it's not the final segment yet. We are speaking with Mr. Damien Blackburn here today. Godfrey?
Barcelona. Barcelona is a digitized city.
You're not going to ask about my Catalonian independence, are you?
No. But what will it take to make Nassau, for example?
Yeah, so Barcelona has got an ambition to become a smart city, a digital city. Now, one of the reasons that has happened is because there's an organization of all the network operators in the world, all the mobile network operators. There's hundreds of them, across the 210 countries in the world. And every year there's an annual congress of those network operators, believe it or not. It's in February, March time, and it's in Barcelona. So Barcelona was easily able to capture the industry and latch onto this smart cities initiative, and they're making progress. From when I didn't go there this year, but I went there the year before, and there's a lot of they're working hard, the municipal authorities to allow people to pay for tickets on the public transport and things like that, and it's pretty good to see what's happening. Nassau, in some ways, Nassau has the opportunity, and the Bahamas has the opportunity to digitize and become smarter quicker than anywhere else. It's just having the will to do it, because it's a smaller population. The education is going to be, there's less people to educate onto systems. It's easier to perhaps organize a smaller number of actors in the different supply chains. So one of the things that you'll see Alive moving into as we enter our second year and our new phase really is working out how we can lead the agenda or partner with businesses who are keen to create smart cities, digitize things that are currently done in different ways. And there's lots of different examples I spoke about, and one of the agendas that we intend to lead is smart health. So health and well-being that can be done from the smartphone. And there's some great opportunities in that. We're putting together an absolutely great initiative there, which you will see come to the fore shortly. And we're involving health professionals, Bahamian health professionals, to advise how to do it. Because at the end of the day, the health challenges, and the Prime Minister talks about this, the health challenges of the Bahamas are fairly unique. How does somebody get access to health services in a remote island in the archipelago, for example?
That was my follow-up question. I'm an agriculturalist, right?
Okay.
And you have farmers located throughout the archipelago.
Yeah.
And you have advisors to them.
Mm-hmm.
And people will be able to use their cell phones to solve technical problems.
Absolutely. And only yesterday, I in the 2 or 3 years I had in a kind of sabbatical living in the United States, I got to know some marvelous people because I was leading a company in Silicon Valley. And only yesterday I was speaking to one of my friends who organizes the largest AgTech conference, it's called, so agricultural technologies, which is all connected to smarter ways of doing things using chips, and it's incredible. I mean, some of the stuff I can't even get my head around. But again, the Bahamas, if it embraces those kinds of technologies, it's a fantastic proving ground, right, as well for some of these technologies. And there's some fantastic opportunities here. And then the simple things, again, I lived in Haiti. I saw how simple cell phone service revolutionized farmers and fishermen getting the prices for their products so they could ring up the markets and then keep sailing if the price was a different price down the road, because there's challenges of supply chain in Haiti. And I've spoken already to some people here around farming and getting product to market. Where do you send it and things like that? There can be apps can solve a lot of these things. Bring the buyers and the sellers together.
So you're transforming telecommunications in the Bahamas, and you are doing it one island at a time, eh?
Absolutely, and Andros and Exuma have been waiting patiently for us. We would have launched in September. We and BTC were jointly set back by just some aftermath of the hurricanes, which has meant that we set back. We're very hopeful that both of those islands will have their beautiful, shiny, alive network switched on this month. We're just coordinating the final bits of the planning there with BTC. And all the equipment's installed, it's ready to go, it just needs lighting up, really. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. And as I say, people can use their phones anyway on these islands, their Alive phones.
Yeah. Alive has been quite involved in community projects over the last year. As a matter of fact, you've been very aggressive, haven't you? And I believe that you've been aggressive to capture your market share. And you see, last weekend, was it, you were in Exuma participating or sponsoring a major event? Speak to that.
Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't get there, and I must apologise to the organisers that I wasn't able to go at the last minute to this marvellous event, but I was told about this event, Run for Pompey and Exuma, 2 or 3 months ago, and I committed the company to get involved.
Run for Pompey. Pompey was the slave who rebelled, the rebellious slave.
Absolutely. And I believe that the whole, it's 32 miles, is it, the run? Yeah. Was actually won.
By my daughter-in-law.
And that's an incredible coincidence, eh?
Yeah, well, she's an adopted genius.
And my grandson won the 5 mile.
Okay. Well, I was intending to go with limited ambitions of the 5 mile. I can assure you, not the 32. My days of 32 miles are long over. But what a fantastic event, you know, and you know, great that we were allowed to be involved. And why do we focus on communities? You know, people ask me. At the end of the day, the Bahamas is a series of communities. You know, to some degree, it's nothing more or nothing less from what I've observed. Fantastically strong communities, island by island, archipelago of islands, you know, church by church. It's fantastic to see the sense of community in the Bahamas. And again, with my perspective of being in so many different places, I really recognize how strong communities are here. And so it's very important that Alive just reflected back, you know, what works very well in the Bahamas.
Mr. Blackburn, there's another aspect, you know. You talk about the positives and the beneficiaries, but there's some negatives, you know.
Absolutely.
One of the negatives is that people don't communicate directly with each other anymore.
On using the cell phone.
I see families, each, the father, the mother, and the son or daughter got an iPhone and they
Text.
No communication. How you in that industry, how do you feel about that?
I feel that you know, I personally believe that if you sat having a meal, you know, it's the right thing to do to sit and talk to one another. I think communication with each other is an important skill, and maybe as I see my child and I see other children, like they're more in tune with the device than we ever were. And there is some important downsides to that which we need to think about in the education system, making sure that the space is given for particularly young people to understand that group interaction, team sports, drama, you know, working together on projects without technology has an even more important role than it ever has done. And something else, but on the other side of it, I do see that technology, these technologies can also bring out confidence in young people. So, you know, as I said earlier, a lot of people are using video now to talk to one another. And, you know, probably in the days when I was younger, I would be very nervous about, you know, TV and video and, you know, these kind of things. Kids are growing up with it, so it's breeding some confidence around communication as well, which is a good thing. I think it's just getting, like with everything that's new, it's getting the balance, you know, right.
Finding the balance.
And you know, again, in Alive, if we can play a part in interventions that make sure that balance is right, we will do. We are working closely with schools now as part of our Schools Plus program to make sure that, you know, I commit that we will counter that negative balance.
Are you concerned about the role social media is playing in today's society?
I'm generally a freedom of speech guy, you know, but we do clearly live in the world of fake news. I've been the target of it in the Bahamas since I arrived, myself, and Alive has, and I think it's seen for what it is. To be honest, is fake news. But that's the downside of everybody, you know, having the opportunity on social media to say whatever they like without the fact-checking going on that used to happen in your good profession. And, you know, that's the downside. But I think generally the positives outweigh the downsides. You know, the fact that people can communicate freely and to one another and one to many or one to one, you know, I do think it's always a balancing act.
There are some positives as well as negatives, right?
Yeah, and generally the positives outweigh the negatives.
Yes. Let's take this final break in our program. We'll come right back.